And a look now at the pitching splits here with the catchers of the Red Sox, Sandy León, Christian Vasquez, and Blake Swihart. And man, Sandy León did his thing last night and showed you his value. Might not necessarily, although he's a good hitter, but might not necessarily come in his bat, maybe not necessarily in his arm, but the work he did right here behind the plate was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, before I get to that, you just saw the catcher's ERA right there with David Price. He is 2 runs per game better when León is behind the dish. I mean, that's significant. But anyway, so León last night, I just loved watching him get the job done because as a catcher, it takes such a huge amount of work to become good at blocking a ball. It's not just something that you're born with, right? You're going to need some athleticism, but it's an anticipation. It is I want to do this. It's no ball will dare get past me. That's the mindset that you have to have as a catcher. And you got to take pride in it because it's something that you're going to need continual work. This is a pitch right here. That ball almost got away. And just great reactions by León back there. The big high ones, once it goes in the dirt, you're doing anything you can to put any part of your body and sacrifice it to keep that ball in front and not let that run score. For myself, after a game, you start looking back at all the different pitches that both you caught and that you blocked, and that's where the pride in it comes. I had some great instructors growing up when I first got to professional baseball. Bobby Didier was a guy who worked my tail off, and I hated him for it, but he made me better. I mean, we worked every single day. Bill Plummer was another guy that through my minor league system, we would do it during the season. And it's something that takes a lot of work out of it.
So let me ask you, Dave, we watched Sandy León last night. So do you feel this is an acquired skill?
Absolutely.
So how do you then get good at doing it?
Starts with the want to. I want to be good at this. I want my pitcher to understand that I'm going to do whatever I can to keep that run there, and it's not going to go on his ERA. It gives him the confidence that 0-2 pitch, 1-2.
Right.
I don't want to throw a strike here. I want to take advantage of this guy's aggression, so I'm going to throw that ball in the dirt.
So show us then the proper technique to be able to make those kind of blocks.
Okay, so first off, as a catcher, I always felt that I could only cover so much ground, right? I'm not Superman. If somebody throws a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in that batter's box, I got one chance, and it's a quick hockey goalie, maybe I pick it. But the ones that I knew that I could always block was going to be breaking balls. So I wanted to be able to cover about this distance, right? So if I can do this, and you go outside that, I'm going to do whatever I can, but I felt like I could control this area. So I'm going to get down. Hopefully my suit doesn't split. So what we saw last night, the best reaction is in position you want to be in. When that ball is bouncing, you want this glove back here. I always did it a little bit different. I see a lot of catchers come here, and this hand really never gets behind the glove to protect your hand. Broken fingers, that's how that kind of happens. So I would have my target here and then drop straight down here.
Your head would come down with you, too.
My head comes down because where your head goes, your body goes. You also want to protect your neck. But when my head's down, then I've got this kind of circular thing happening here. When that ball hits, my head's up. The ball can hit here and shoot that way. When it's here, I want to smother it like a grenade. I got to be aggressive. I can't be passive because when you're passive, your body's going to be in different positions. So when the ball's over to here, I wanted to be able to get over here this way. So as this slider hits here, it comes back towards home plate.
But real quick, just your right hand, too, you mentioned, because you didn't put it behind the glove, but you had it in a fist.
I have it in a fist to protect it. I want them with my fingers here.
Okay.
So if it's here and I get hit, it's going to hurt,
right,
but hopefully it won't break a finger. But also, I'm wider. When I do this, I'm not as wide of a shield to block the ball as when I'm trying to do this one here.
Those were the short blocks. What happens if you get a ball that's out here?
Hopefully you get lucky. But you get lucky by being good. And then you start to recognize the pitch. So that Sandy had a couple last night that were way out there, and you saw him. He had to stand up to block that ball, and it hit him in the chest. Okay. Now, that one I can't smother. That one I can only...
Self-defense.
Self-defense.
So you just said to get good. So if a young potential catcher's at home watching this segment, what are the drills that they have to do, Dave, to get really good at doing this?
Okay, you young catchers, don't get mad at me if your dad starts writing these things down and starts doing them to you. So it's about blocking. So what I would do if I had a young catcher that I was trying to train, they have the rag ball. So it's not
like
a
real soft dot ball then.
Yes, because I don't want that young kid, that young catcher to be afraid of this.
Right.
So I want him to learn technique before you start getting, fastball here, and then that's when you don't want to be a catcher. It's like, can I go play first base? So learning the technique using a softer ball, because it's just about getting in the technique. And then when you get good at it, I'd mentioned some of my coaches in the minor leagues. We had one drill called Machine Gun Kelly, and he'd get about 25 baseballs right here, and he would get down in front of me, and I'd be only about 15 feet away, and all he did was pick up a ball and throw it, pick as fast as he could. So as a catcher, I'm dropping down, blocking it, back to my feet, and then back down again.
Wow.
25 times. I mean, you're working your legs, your back, your butt, just to be able to get into this position to block the baseball.
So form, ultimately, your form is the most important thing of become a proficient blocker.
Form and anticipation. So if I'm not anticipating a slider being thrown in the dirt, I will never get down into that correct position. I'll always be late. And you'll see it. We see it every night. Catchers don't really get their knees down in front of it to be able to smother that baseball. But you've got to anticipate. So, but I know what's coming. So if I call a slider,
right.
I'm anticipating that ball's going to be in the dirt. If it doesn't go in the dirt, I still can catch it. But if it does go in the dirt and I'm not anticipating it, I'll be running back here to go pick it up. And that's one thing you never wanted to do.
And you know what? And León was awesome. Let's give Gary Sanchez some credit because he was pretty good last night, too. I mean, better than I think a lot of people expected. He'll definitely be in the lineup tonight because he has great numbers against David Price, including 5 home runs. So he can't get to the ballpark fast enough.